Hi, everybody. This is Rashid here. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, another episode on System Verilog series. And today I will show you something I found which I was not aware of, but definitely other people have been using it. Um, and that is using this Cocotb package of Python. And as I've been mentioning that I was looking for something where for testing purpose, I can connect some sort of Python interface to our system Verilog modules. Okay, so I think this might be the one that I need. We'll see how it goes. But what I did in the previous video, there was a NAND2 that I created a system Verilog file, right? And then also created a testbench system Verilog file, and we ran it. And idea was, okay, before we go into the core of system Verilog, or start implementing different modules, I can show you how the overall thing is going to work, because this is very practical course. It's not only going to show you all different kind of system Verilog constructs, but I really want to start implementing different modules. I have 14 hierarchies or 14 modules or 14 partitions or 14 blocks that I need to implement. I have their modeling done in Python, so their functionality is tested in Python. Now I want to create their corresponding system Verilog implementation. Then I'm going to put together all those 14s together, and that is the top level of the CPU. Okay, so let me show you what this Cocotb is. And again, I'm not expert. This is a very new thing I found, and it's working right now. And in the next video, we will look into a little bit more. But in today's, so overall, what you definitely need your system Verilog main module of NAND. Okay, that is one thing. You don't need that system Verilog test bench that we created. You don't need that. Okay, so what you need is a Python file, okay, which I'm showing here, which is going to import that um, package. All right, and we will, instantiate. It calls that design under test, which is our NAND2. Okay, and then it goes applies the inputs to it and measures the output. Okay, but you must be wondering, where am I running the simulator? Now that's where this Makefile comes into action. So I'll show you how this Makefile is created. But this Makefile, okay, knows what's the simulator. It knows the design, and it calls the Cocotb area, whatever the some of the code that comes with it. Okay, and with that, the sequence operates, and it does compiles the DB, compiles the system Verilog file, and then it runs the um, the test bench on it, simulates that. We are not going to open any GTK wave viewer. Okay, we will not see those one, but the idea is that we are able to do the same thing that we did with the test bench previously. Okay, I'll show you all those things, but very first of all, I want to show you on this side. This is that readme file. I think I shared the first part before. I shared the all of it, but there's focus on this part over here. So you have to install. So I already installed Python and the pip. Okay. So once you have pip, you need, if you want to install different Python packages, you need that utility. Okay. So do a pip install and Cocotb PyTest, and I think you need to use this because by default it involves some security mechanism. Just want to make sure I'm not creating any virtual environment. I just install it right away there, okay, on the machine. um, then you need to set this path because of the for the installation. um, okay, the bash path variable where all the boundaries are. Then I also added this variable into my the bash RC file. Okay. And then you run cocotb dash config dash dash version, and you should be able to see a version number. That means the installation and everything is fine. Correct. Then you create a make file, and I'll show you the content of the make file here. And then you create this Python file, which is here. And I'll show you that. And after that, you run this make or just make dash as suppresses too many information messages, but you run just make. Once you run make, it runs the make file, which calls a simulator, and it also calls this thing. All right, makes sense. And we will run it. We will, after I explain, you will run the make. So if you look at on this window, a make file, it has some variables defined first. So first of all is showing that it's a Icarus simulator. The top level language is Verilog. It creates what you call, I think, kind of bridge to Cocotb. And I think it's that interface is either VHDL or Verilog. Verilog includes System Verilog as well. So even if though we are going to write System Verilog, it's totally fine. You put a Verilog here. Then the sources, the source files that we have, those are NAND gate. This is the only one source file I have in the present working directory. And you put this variable for that. Top level is the module, basically, which is inside there. I mean, we have one module, right? That is NAND gate. And the CocoTB test modules. Um, hmm, I use that, but I think it is better to put modules there. Later on, we will see a issue with that. But anyway, this is the this module, this test NAND dot py over here. This is that entire file. Okay, that dot Python file that we have. You gave it here. Understood? Then on the compile, when we compile with iVerilog or Icarus, right? We need to give this 2012 for system Verilog constructs. Otherwise, it knows by default Verilog. Then you define some units for CocoDB. I hope it's called this CocoDB. I'm not sure. I've never kind of heard anybody saying it. So, and then the last line is very important one. It includes. So this creates a shell in the background. And remember, this CocotDB is really version, gives you the version of it, where the make files are, and wherever it's installed, it has a makefile.sim. It really runs that. So all that action happens here for the CocotDB. Good? You're good so far? All right. Then if we look at some of the things we'll keep using on different, some of the things are now going to be changing. We will always use import CocotDB. People who are familiar with Python, I think I explained this a while back. I put some comments there, and I took those comments from Gemini too. So feel free to ask Gemini or ChatGPT or, okay, explain me different parts of it. So you need to import it, and you are pulling the timer, what you call object. And this is critical thing, cocotb test. Okay, this is like um, this when you type make, this eventually test this, runs this. This is a Python decorator. It acts as a flag that tells the make file and cocotb execution engine this specific function is hardware test. All right. Okay. So then you need to apply the values for the simulation in an async definition. Okay, so async is required because the test needs the ability to pause and wait for the hardware simulator to catch up. You understand that? I didn't. But anyway, what it does is it's not synchronized to something. Okay, it's kind of, whenever you want to give some input and when you want to pause it, you can pause it. Okay, then DUT, the it takes this value, this DUT, this top level over here, this NAND gate, that is your DUT. Okay, so you call it, name it something NAND truth table test but you do this one. D2 stands for device and the subject is a live mirror of your system Verilog. Okay, I understand that. So what we are going to create right now, I mean, we have only one async def. Again, I'm brand new to it. I need to check what if we can create multiples of these two, what happens. So that is something to explore, but I want to start simple for myself as well. So you put a DGT there, and now you're defining a Python variable. All it says, okay, there are three, I don't know what it's called, tuple something. Um, this is defined. So, basically what we're defining three values. We will use this as input A, input B, A, B, and this is the expected output. So we're saying, okay, when NAND is 0 and 0, okay, output is 1. And 0, 1, output is expected 1 because we're going to check against that, right? When it's 1, 0, 1. When it's 1, 1, then it's 0. All right, here what we do, we run a for loop on this guy, and we take each value. Let's bring it over here, and let me, because I'm focusing on that, let me make it bigger. All right, so when you come here, you run a dut dot a, this is the port of a NAND gate, B is another port, the value dot value, we are giving it A value, B value, this is A value, this is B value, this is A value, this is B value. Understand? Then we give some input, we just wait for some output. That's more like a wait for a little bit. You can put any other units. I mean, we don't have actual hardware, right? So it should be quicker. Then verify. So we say within for each. So once this loop once. So right now we are just this value, and we are saying after we give the value to the input NAND, wait a little bit, and then actual value is this, which we stored. So expected value is here. The actual value is the dut dot y. This was the output of it. Okay, so if I let me open NAND gate. Right, so you see that we have input A, input B, and Y is the output. So if I go back, so the output value we're putting in actual Y. This is the actual value we are getting from the design under test. And this assertion is if compare actual Y with expected Y, and if they don't match, then we print this message. And if they pass, then we print this message. Okay, that's it. So let's run this make. All right, so you can see that for the cases it passed, A was 0, B is 1, and all that, and eventually it said the entire that truth table that we had, it passed. Okay, let's create a fake violation. Let's run it, what happens. All right, so you have seen that it says pass, but on the 4th it says it failed. Okay, the this thing was executed. All right, it's saying an expected 1 got 0. Makes sense? So I think this will be super useful. We will use this method. And we will be from the next video, what I'll do is I will start implementing our first module, one of those 14. Most likely it is the write back multiplexer, and I'll show you overall microarchitecture picture again, and what are those different modules, and I'll pick the write back mux, the mux which was writing back into register file. That is simple multiplexer, getting multiple inputs and it's selecting between them, and that way we will start seeing how to code a SystemVerilog, how to code a multiplexer in SystemVerilog. Okay, so we will learn the SystemVerilog part, and implement multiplexer. Then we will also use a testing mechanism. And on one side, here we created values like this, but ideally I want to use, on one side, I have a Python module of write back mux, and the other side, I have the actual system Verilog, and I give same input to both and then compare the output both. And you will see the fun, okay, all the effort that I put in the microarchitecture building, the functionality building in Python, how is that actually really useful? All right. So I'm super excited to start that implementation, and I will see you pretty soon in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.